Good morning, my beautiful fun family. My name is Ariel Rivera, and I am your host of Fun Insurance Solutions. Today, I bring you an amazing episode. This is part of the Woman Who Rock edition, and I give you somebody I admire and respect a lot, the one and only Erin Day. Erin is the agency principal at Agency Insurance and Financial Services in Michigan, and I call her, not only a good friend of mine, I call her the protector of independent agents all across the country, right? So her agency specializes in errors and omission insurance for insurance agencies. So listen to her story. You're going to be inspired. It's full of knowledge and value. You're going to love every second of it. Now, before we get there, I want to give a huge shout out to Cyber Made Simple. Insurance companies and MGAs, listen to this. If you currently don't have cyber liability insurance that you can bolt on to your commercial portfolio, you need to visit www.cyberinsurance.services, www.cyberinsurance.services, so you can learn a lot about the cyber risk purchasing group that has become the easiest, most simple, and most complete solution for insurance companies and MGAs, so you can offer cyber liability insurance to all your commercial clients. Now, let's go have some fun. Good morning, my beautiful fun family, and welcome to the Fun Insurance Solutions podcast. I am super excited today. I actually get to interview not only an amazing colleague, a woman I respect very dearly. I consider her one of my closest friends in the industry. She has a beautiful family, but more importantly, I call her the protector of independent agencies. I have with me today, and you're going to hear all her story, the one and only Erin Day from Agency Insurance and Financial Services. Good morning, Erin. How are you doing?
Good morning. I'm doing great. Thank you so much for having me today. I'm so thrilled to be a guest on this amazingly fun podcast.
Thank you for that. I appreciate that. Thank you for coming, by the way. It's been a long time coming. So
Yes.
I'm happy to have you here. How you been? Everything good?
Everything's great. Yes, everything's good.
Staying busy with your three beautiful boys. I know you
Oh,
are.
yeah. Oh, yes. Yes, absolutely. They keep me very busy and grocery shopping constantly.
Oh, that's true. I can imagine you got to go Costco or Sam's or something
Yes.
like twice a week with
Yes.
three teenage boys. It's got to be wild. So anyways, good for you. So Erin, thank you for being here. I'm super excited. I want to share your whole story. I want people to know who the amazing Erin Day is, all the great things you do or you have done throughout your career, how you have become this amazing woman leader of the insurance industry. Before we start, I want to ask you a question. It's Friday. We had an amazing week. All your agencies bought their E&O. All your agencies are protected. More importantly, they did everything you told them to do because, we're hard-headed as agency owners. You want to sit down with your beautiful family, have a drink. What will be your drink of choice? There's no right or wrong.
Oh, boy. Definitely a glass of Malbec.
I thought so. Yeah. Good for you. I hope you get to enjoy it by the end of the week.
Thank you.
Which I'm sure you will. Or maybe tonight. Who knows? Anything can happen.
That's right.
So anyways, let's open. In Spanish, we call it El Baúl de los Recuerdos, which means let's open the trunk of memory, trunk of your car, and let's share your memories. So let's go down memory lane. And I want you to tell everyone who is Erin Day and what made you the amazing insurance woman, leader, professional, and agency owner you are right now.
Oh my gosh. Thank you so much, Ariel. And I, again, really appreciate you having me here today. Yeah. So first, before we, kind of go down my journey and path of the last 23 years, which I don't feel quite old enough to say that. I've been in the insurance business that long, but.
Well, you started at 13 was, right?
Fair enough.
Okay.
You mentioned my 3 teenage boys, and they are definitely my why. So, the reason that I work hard every day and, really try and show Liam, Blaine, and Cole what a successful business owner looks like, and really to just go after and tackle your dreams and keep pushing. And when the days are hard or tough, you keep pushing through and keep your eye on the prize. So here we are today, 2024, successful agency, which I love, is very near and dear to my heart. We're a very unique boutique style agency. So we specialize in writing insurance agents, errors and omissions insurance. So we are, it's pretty much all we do. About 90% of our book is all insurance agents E&O. And I have a true passion for working on behalf of the independent insurance agent. It's been my customer for pretty much the entire time I've been in the industry. So if we rewind the clock to 2001, I needed a job and walked into a local brokerage firm, managing general agency. And I knew someone personally there and said, "Are you guys hiring?" And she sat me down. I took a typing test, which I think those things are obsolete now, but
I was just going to say that's very weird.
luckily I passed that. Pretty much hired on the spot, maybe had one short interview and was hired at a very entry level position, which was really where I started in the business. I typed policies, I typed endorsement, notices of cancellation, anything that you could type that needed to go out on an actual policy, I did. And learned a lot about policy language, definitions, kind of what some people probably consider the boring stuff. I found very interesting, especially just someone brand new to the business. An underwriting position became available. And I figured, I kind of want to do that. So put my name in for that and was promoted to underwriter, did that for a few years. A brokerage underwriter position opened up. And again, interviewed for that, got that position. It was all really, really great. I left the brokerage firm for a few years, went and worked for a large retail agency, gained a lot of experience doing that. Being on that independent agency side really helped me understand today, and even when I went back to the brokerage firm, just what agents went through. I remember going out on an account and being fired, from the renewal with the agency owner, and like just the stress and the feeling that you get when you are fired from an account. And ultimately, the retail side really wasn't for me in that capacity, just dealing with the general public. I went back to the brokerage firm. They asked me to come back, and I did. And went back as a binding underwriter, which I really liked, but something for me was missing. And I really wanted to be in front of our agents, our independent agents. So I wrote a job description that I thought the brokerage firm could use. And it was at the time, it was a sales underwriting position, kind of like a hybrid. And I took it to my manager and I said, "I want you to present this to the owner of the company. I think that we need this." And she was like, "Oh, I don't know. I'm not sure if that's going to work, but I'll give it to him." So she gives it to him and he's interested. And I'm like, "Oh my gosh, this might happen." So I interview in front of the strategic board of the company. And, some people really were fans of the idea and some people were not. And I had to overcome that quickly in the interview process. And ultimately, we created this position. And it was tossed around, who is she going to report to? And I raised my hand. I said, "I want to report to the owner. Like, I want to be his, I want to report directly to him. I'm getting all this feedback from our agents going out on the road. I want my voice directly to his ears." So it was kind of nerve-wracking. He's a very wonderful man, but kind of a behind the curtain person. So started this position, started getting out on the road, visiting our agents, got all this good feedback. I loved being with the agents. I love sitting across from an agency principal and just understanding like what their needs were. How can we help you? What things do you need from an E&S standpoint or just a standard market standpoint that I can maybe help facilitate? It was going really, really well. I had to download my book of business just because I was on the road during the day and at home at night on the computer, and young family, that part didn't work. So it's 100% sales. And then we started hiring people for the sales team that I was in charge of. And it was awesome. When I left in 2020, we had 6 people on the sales team covering 15 to 18 states. All of them reported to me. It was phenomenal. I loved my sales team. We were all out there just really trying to make a difference, get business, and just really understand from our agents what they needed. But in the fall of 2020, I learned that my current agency today was going to be for sale. And I knew the gentleman, Peter, who owned the agency. And I thought, now is my time. Now is my time to own something, to be able to put my mark on this industry in a different way. And I've always had a real entrepreneurial spirit. I've always known that I wanted to own something, didn't really know quite how to go about it. So I called up my mentor and I said, I think I want to buy this agency. And he said, okay, do you have any money? And I said, no.
So rude, so rude. By the way, I know her mentor, so how are you going to
Funny.
buy it, right? And
Yeah.
you're like,
Well,
that's why I have you. Right?
yeah,
You
you
got to show
can't
me how to
do it.
do it. Yeah.
Yeah, love doesn't buy agencies. Okay, well, passion for the people, still no. Um, so it was a very scary process. It was smack in the middle of COVID. I went and shadowed Peter and his agency and looked at his accounts and just the processes and this workflow and a true understanding for like what he did for the agents. And it was really funny. I was sitting there and he pulls up his database and I'm like, I know them, I know them, I know them, I know them, like all these people that I'm like, oh my gosh, I know so many of these customers already. I'm in their offices last week, last month. Like this is such a good fit for me. So we decided let's try and put a deal together. And we did. It was awesome. It was very scary, but I felt like the risk was worth it. I felt really confident that I would succeed. And I knew I could make it work. So December 31st, 2020, we inked the deal and I bought the agency. It was incredible. I left behind, thank you. I left behind a really good job, a really good position, a great company that I definitely had a future with, a team that I loved. So it was a little risky in that regard. Like, what if I find out this isn't for me? But I do believe that you have to really trust your gut with some of that, this hard decision making and just understanding and believing in yourself that you can make it work if you want to. I, before the deal was done, I had a meeting with a very good friend of mine, and she worked at the brokerage firm too. And I said, I want to do this, but I don't want to do it without you. Would you consider a really big risk in leaving this amazing position that you have today and take a chance on me and come with me? And she said yes. And she's our director of ops for the agency today, and she's doing a killer job. I think that surrounding yourself with people that really believe in you and can look at your goal and see the vision and really want to partner with you to make it a reality is critical in success. And she did that. And I'm super, super thankful for her for that.
She's amazing, by the way. So
I,
kudos to you. I'm
yeah,
glad you
she
guys
is.
she got to stay with you, and she's awesome. So huge
Thank you.
shout out to her.
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, she's awesome. So then, we're just cranking, doing our thing, writing E&O, having a grand time. Fast forward through 2 office moves, a new agency management system, a new phone system. Um, the agency's most profitable year on record. And September of 22, I'm in a hotel room in San Diego, curling my hair, getting ready for a national PIA board meeting, and my phone rings. And I'm like, oh, this is weird. It's a number I don't recognize. But that's common, right? You're in sales, you answer calls,
Of course, you
right?
got to
So
answer it. Yes, yeah. You never know, that might be the next $1 million account. Yeah.
exactly. Well, and for me, little did I know it was going to be the next agency I was going to purchase. So I answer the phone and the caller says, "This is Mary Smith. You don't know me. I have an agency similar to yours in Pennsylvania. I'm ready to retire. Would you like to buy my agency?" And
By the way, amazing for her to do that call. That's a
I know.
gutsy call. That tells you she's a very successful woman, by the way.
Oh, and she ran a very, very great agency, very good business. And I have the phone. I'm like, I'm sorry, who is this? Rewind, put the curling iron down, start taking notes, so that was really cool. And she had owned an agency for a number of years, some decades, and she wanted to hang it up and had a younger staff and thought it was important to her to sell to another female. And I loved that. Like that was
Nice.
something that was really motivating for her. And I was recommended by one of our carriers that we both have contracts with. And we made it work. We put together a sweet deal for her, a great deal for me. She was able to retire March 31st of last year, 23. So we just celebrating our 1 year anniversary, bringing that team on and that acquisition
Awesome.
together. Yeah, it's been great. Our team doubled overnight. Our premium volume doubled overnight. We gained geographic expansion, which was huge for me. It was one of my goals that I wanted to do. And it was quick. So, where I was just Michigan, now I'm in over 40 states and was able to retain her team. They're doing great and, really continue to develop the team professionally and continue to serve what we love, independent insurance agents.
That's awesome. That's what an amazing and inspiring story, by the way. I had
Thank
no
you.
idea about the San Diego call. So you and I were
Yeah.
there during those meetings. Yes.
Yeah.
So we were there, and I had no idea that happened while we were down there. So
No, I was tight-lipped because I was like, I didn't even know. I mean, when we got off the phone, I'm like, I didn't even grab the name of her agency. I knew her name. I knew kind of what it was about. But then, like, everything just started, snowballing once I got home, which was great.
that's awesome. What a wonderful story. And
Thank you.
it's been a journey, right? And
Oh,
I'm impressed. I didn't know you were typing policy, so that's pretty cool too. So,
I
and
have done it all. So I
I,
can actually, except for claims, I've done everything.
yeah, which goes back to the most interesting and amazing part of insurance, especially people that want to start tomorrow and own an agency or do stuff like that. They think you're just gonna start right away and everything's gonna be bells and whistles and beautiful. No, it's not. It
Hmm.
takes time. You got to go through the steps, right? The more you get invested in the industry, the more you learn about the different
Hmm.
like aspects of it, right? What's an underwriter? What's a sales? What's a
Oh,
producer? What's an
sure.
account manager? And you start working yourself around all that, the more successful you're going to be. And in
Oh,
your
sure.
case, I can only imagine coming to our side as a broker, right? And working for a broker when you were an underwriter. So
Hmm.
that must have been a huge contrast for you. And
Hmm.
one of the things we see in retail when an underwriter comes to our agencies to work, which I had those, they're like, oh, this is so different. it's,
Yes.
it's,
Yes.
it's like we gotta eat. We gotta take care of our families. We gotta take care of our team, the people we serve. So, from the underwriter standpoint, this is the premium. Is it approved or is it not approved? Whether it falls on the underwriting guidelines or no, this is what your client's gonna pay. From the
Hmm.
producer or broker standpoint, it's like, okay, that's the premium. What are we getting?
Hmm.
What information do I need to make this, to make this policy, to sell this policy? Let's just put it that way.
Right.
So,
Right.
how was that experience, by the way, when you were working on our side?
It was good. I mean, I loved it. It just, like you just said, each position that I held throughout the last 20 plus years has been very different from the next. And also there's been a common thread, a common theme, and that ultimately is taking care of the customer, whether that's the general consumer, whether that's an agent, agency principal. I have just always felt at the end of the day, what is the goal that your customer is trying to achieve? How are you going to help them achieve that? And being a part of the solution. And that's really what we do here is at Agency Insurance is really, like you mentioned earlier, protect them and what they're building. I know what my agency means to me, and I know because I'm an independent insurance agent as well, just like all my customers, this is my baby. This is I'm living for this right now. This is I want to protect myself. I want to protect my team. It's so important that, at the end of the day, what does the customer want? How do we satisfy that?
Yeah, and you said the perfect word. This is your baby. And
Hmm.
not only one of the common things we all share is helping others, right? And that's why I
Hmm.
love the industry. I'm very passionate about it. And no matter what role or what capacity will I ever work on it, helping the customer is the end goal, right? And in your case,
Yes.
the customer is protecting your agency owners that you guys serve and protect. And then for us, retail agents is protecting the customers and the communities that we serve.
Sure.
But the business itself, the agency itself, it's our baby.
Mhm.
And I mean, I was shaking and crying, and I'm going to say it publicly. I don't care. When I sold my first agency after 17 years, I was I was devastated because that was
Yeah.
my baby that I
Right.
built from 0 to 17. And
Yes.
it's like, maybe now you got to go to college, live a bigger life, something like that. But it took years to build that, right? And
Right.
that's, I love that you use the word baby because that's exactly how I saw it. And I'm pretty sure, the thousands of listeners that own agencies that are going to listen to this podcast, they're going to feel identified with that. So,
Mhm.
but yeah, it's our baby.
It is, and, people are like, "It's just business, don't take it personal." It's like, "Well, it is personal because it's mine,"
Yes.
and you do have to separate some things and some aspects of the
Yeah.
day, but at the end of it, it
It's
is
impossible.
personal because it's what what you're doing, what you're creating,
Yeah.
and, I'm really into culture and, a positive working culture, a positive working environment, and I want what's best for my team. Professional development is huge for me. So
Nice.
getting the account managers additional training and just knowledge, they're a younger, we definitely have a younger staff, and I want them to kind of grow up here,
Yep.
and just really understand E&O and how we do come in every day to protect the lives and the protection of and operations of our customers. So,
Yeah. And that's something very valuable. So you should always be
mhm.
very proud of yourself. So
Oh, thank
we'll
you.
get that. So tell me, the hard market, we got it. We hit it.
Yeah.
There's no getting
Hmm.
away from it. What
Hmm.
are you seeing from your agency owners? How do we set up? I'm starting my own agency tomorrow, just so you know. I'm just kidding. No. Let's just say, let's just say I'm starting my own agency tomorrow. Help me set up my agency to have the best protection for E&O.
Yeah. So, thank you for the question. E&O is also being impacted by the hard market, and all of our agents will just say, kind of a blanket statement. Most of our agents are growing, so
Yes.
they're growing in premium volume, they're growing in commission. So E&O rates are increasing as well to follow suit. My word of advice to a brand new agent that may be hanging their shingle tomorrow would be get your carrier contracts in order and don't buy cheap E&O. Just
Yes.
like they would say to their customers
Yes.
that, you get what you pay for.
Yep.
There's plenty of E&O markets out there. Some are better than others. We deal with the some are better. Um, I look at policy language. I review current program against the programs that we have to offer. It pains me a little bit when agents are only shopping for price when it comes to their E&O, just because it is truly, if you have a claim, you want the best protection, the best claims handling
How
possible.
devastating is that? I mean, I will take it so personal because I'm very emotional when it comes to sales and all that. But it's like, how do you tell your client to buy the higher limits of insurance for the auto policy to 5,500, but then when it comes to your own E&O, you're looking for the cheapest option? That makes
It's
no sense.
it's kind of mine, like it kind of blows my mind a little bit. Um, some agents really get it and some don't. We just try to educate. So, like last week I had an account and he stayed with his current program. And I said, I hope you're not writing these 8 classes of business because they are specifically excluded on your E&O and they're not uncommon classes. So like if you have a claim on an account that's one of these types of operations, you don't have E&O coverage. And the difference in premium between his program and mine was, I don't know, $400 a year.
Oh,
So it's like,
man.
like, but education is huge. So we do review programs and try to point out differences. We work with top rated markets for sure that got really good coverage forms. And that's what we really try to hit home with is at time of a claim, and hopefully you never have one, you want to be covered. You want to be
Yep.
protected.
Yeah, I remember we had an E&O provider in Puerto Rico. This was the most hilarious thing. An agent will come and call me and say, "Hey, Rio, have you heard of this from this provider?" I'm like, "Well, what's going on?" I'm like, "Have you read their policy?" I'm like, "Yeah, I read it. That's why I don't buy my E&O from them." I'm like, "So it's true." I'm like, "Yeah,
Yes.
hurricane claims are excluded." I'm like, "What?"
Hmm.
In Puerto Rico. I'm like, are you
Hmm.
seriously asking this question? Well, the
Hmm.
premium is like $500 less, of course, because the biggest exposure we're probably going to have in Florida, Puerto Rico, or whatever that's a hurricane prone area is going to be a hurricane claim or
Right.
or a claim, from a hurricane event, right?
Right.
And it's like, if that's excluded, then you're just wasting your time, right?
Right,
Yeah.
right.
I had another friend
Absolutely.
in Florida, sorry to cut you off, and he
Okay.
was like, we're switching from personal lines to commercial lines and we're writing a lot of ENS. And I'm like, perfect. Do you have the right E&O for that? Oh, I didn't think about that. I'm like, so you better make sure you get your own policy the right way
Mhm,
because ENS is excluded from some policies. And he
mhm.
said, oh, I never thought about that. And we're over $1 million in premium already on ENS in like 6 or 9 months. I'm like, well, you better go check and talk to your E&O provider. Make
Yes,
sure you
for
get that
sure.
covered.
Yeah, great point. And one thing too that we do is not necessarily, it's more than, for us, it's more than just an insurance policy. Where I talked about education a few minutes ago, and we have spent so much time the last year being in agents' offices or over Zoom training staff on documentation best practices, how to work within your AMS, best practices when it comes to texting your clients or, emailing or whatever that looks like, walk-ins, coverage checklists. Like we really do try to help the agency with operational support or development or just continuous training because we do feel like you can help mitigate some of that E&O on the front side, on the training side with your team. You're invested in your business, you're invested in making sure you don't have an E&O. And we really enjoy working with customers like that.
That's awesome. And that just
Mhm.
goes, that speaks very highly of you and your team because you go the extra mile, which is what we do for our clients, right? And
Right,
and
exactly.
and that's how
Yep.
you make a difference. You're not buying a policy online or you're not buying getting a quick quote in 2 seconds. You want to understand their business. And I
Mhm.
encourage every agency owner out there to give you a shot because I know you care and I know your team cares. That just means you're going to protect them well. So kudos to you
Thank you.
guys.
Yeah,
S-
thanks.
And I'll tell you one more thing, by the way. When you talk about setting up an agency or guiding them or helping them, are you getting into any of the automation process saying, hey, make sure you send automated emails before the renewal and stuff like that, because that helps protect you? Um, how are you seeing agencies taking the automation stuff? Let's just put it that way. Not getting into technology or tech stack or anything. It's
Yeah.
just, are they embracing automation?
Oh, for
That's
sure. And
okay.
I mean, we have some agents that still fax, and then we have some agents that are using AI. So we have a huge gap.
Did you just say
Um,
facts?
Fax,
Huh,
like
that's
fax machine.
interesting. That's That's interesting.
FAX.
Okay. All righty. I'm like, oh wow. I didn't know. I mean, I do we had a fax that it will come to our email.
Yes.
But I
Yes.
do have friends that own agencies, very large agencies, and they still fax too. So I'm
Mhm.
impressed that you get to see a lot of that too.
Yes. But, agents are definitely, grabbing a hold of the technology, and with all the different platforms, even for agency management systems or just communication in general that are out there, we do get a lot of questions like, "Can I have this automated? Can I have my agency management system, 90 days before renewal generate the email?" Absolutely, and you should put those processes in place. Anything that you can do to help create a consistent process. Consistency is a word that we use a lot, because we like to see consistency. We don't want, oh, every fourth account we do that. Well, that's not going to go great when you're on a stand. You know what I mean? Like you need to show that you're doing it for everybody or doing it for no one. But the consistency with the automation is really important. And I think it's a useful tool, sending out those automatically generated emails for renewal, whatever they may be, a checklist that's included in that, or if there's a policy change, communicating those things through something that's generated through your AMS. It's important, and I think that agents should use it.
And there's so many ways to protect ourselves with automation. That's why I tell everyone to embrace it as much as you can,
Yeah.
because you protect yourself. We do a
Hmm.
90-day email, then we do a 45-day, then we do a 20 days. And
Hmm.
we want to make sure the client is informed, hey, we need you to do this, right? So
Right.
when the time comes, we pick up the phone, we make the call, we do whatever we need to do. But
Hmm.
that automation already, sets up the process, the whole process, which is what every agency should have at the end of the day.
Sure. Absolutely. Yep.
So tell me, agency, insurance, and financial services. What's coming for next year? You're buying another agency? I'm just kidding.
I told my team 2024 is the year of organic growth, and just kind of we're gonna ride the wave a little bit. So no, I'm not purchasing any, but well, I don't know. I
You
shouldn't say
never
I'm
know.
not.
You
You
never
never
know.
know. And I may be curling my hair in an upcoming meeting, and it will the phone will ring. No, it's been a great, I can't believe it's already May. It's been a great first half of the year, and we're growing. I mean, we're writing new business in all of our states, which is great. Just really kind of refining our process, working on some professional development for our team. Like I said, that's really important to me, just to get everyone the training that they want and really make them the best account managers and just understand where they want to grow professionally too.
Yep.
I think that that's really important. So yeah,
Yeah, I'm
no, we're
all
having a
about
great year.
education. Good for you guys. Good for you. It's going to be, I know 2025 is going to be even better. So as you keep growing, by the way, do you plan to expand any more than the 44 state or 40 plus state you guys have now?
Probably not. I would love to say I need to go to Hawaii to write a couple new accounts.
Who doesn't, right?
Right. No, I think we're pretty good for right now. I mean, we're not opposed to it. But just at the time, we don't have any reason to.
Okay. So people who want to connect with you, people that want to have you help them write their
Mhm.
E&O policies, review what they have, what's the best way to connect with you, either through LinkedIn or your website? What do you recommend?
Yeah, great question. LinkedIn, definitely through our website. There's a form on there. Through my email, great too. Phone. I'm open to communicating and connecting, however, whatever makes sense for the agency.
Perfect.
But
And I'll share
definitely you can.
everything when we release the episode details, so you don't
Okay.
have to spell it out or anything. So don't worry.
Okay.
We'll be
Awesome.
sharing
Thank you.
everything. So listen, one more thing. I got two more things actually. One
Okay.
more. Before we go, tell me a fun fact about Erin Day. No right or wrong. No right or wrong.
Okay. So something that's unique about me and also very fun is I am an identical twin.
Oh, that's
So
nice.
I have
That's
I have a
awesome.
twin sister, Laura. She is not in the insurance business. She's an educator and an amazing one at that. And our bond is unlike anything. She is my person in life and my sounding board, and I love her to pieces. She's my girl. So
That's awesome. She's your ride or
mhm.
die. That's for sure.
She is.
That,
She's my
that
person. Yep.
And it's funny, people can walk, you can walk one way and she can walk the other way. And people who know you are going to think she's actually you. Because I seen the pictures and you guys actually look exactly alike.
We are, yes. In fact, we work out at the same gym, and it took some people quite a long time to understand that there were two of
There were
us.
two of them. That is
And we're
so
very
funny.
identical. I mean, if I were to leave this podcast and she were to slip on this dress and come sit down, you probably wouldn't know the difference. So
Oh,
we
man.
sound the same. We look very, very, very identical. So it's a lot of fun. It's a lot
That
of
is
fun.
so funny. I can only imagine. That's awesome. So listen, anything you want to tell everybody who listens to us, especially those producers, agents, and agency owners, any tips,
Mhm.
suggestion as we keep facing the 2024 hard market and probably 2025?
Yeah. Stay the course, right? I know that some days are harder than others, and continue to communicate with your teams, making sure that they're comfortable on the front line, answering those phone calls of, why is my rate so high? Why did this go up? And, or they're getting on renewed and you have to change markets. It can be trying for the people that are on the phones and dealing with the insureds every day in and day out. Equip them with, responses to those questions or statements, and just stay the course. I mean, I've been through a hard market when I was an underwriter at the brokerage firm, and it was a lot of fun, but I did feel for the agents having to sell those increases and, explain what that means. Because to the general consumer, I've never had a claim. Why is my insurance going up?
I
And
know
it's hard. It's
it is
hard.
hard.
So, yeah, just keep on keeping on, right?
Yes, keep on keeping on. Don't give up. It's funny. A lot of things we're seeing now, I've been seeing it in Florida for the last 3 years. We saw
Right.
it in Puerto Rico in 2017 after Hurricane Irma and Maria. So it's just so tough. If you can, and I tell every agent out there, it's like if you can set up a playbook, if you can set up,
Right.
just a simple script, sometimes will help you, and even you don't even have to set it up a script exactly for them to say what you want them to say. You can even send email campaigns out to your clients, letting them know,
Mhm.
hey, we know the hard market is here. We know things are tough. We know premiums are going up. We're going to be working the best we can to find you
Mhm.
the best insurance program for your needs, right? There's different ways to prepare the client. So when the time comes, those calls, which are they're difficult. Let's just put it that
Mm.
way, that way, for
Oh,
lack of better.
absolutely. Absolutely.
And it gets
And
exhausting, we get
yeah,
tired.
right. And just educate. I mean, again, I'll go back to education and communication. I would educate them just the best that you can in layman's terms, who don't understand insurance, terminology. Just break it down and, continue to educate and communicate to your customer.
That's awesome. I love it. Well, Erin, I want to be very respectful of your time. Thank you. Thank you so much. It has been my honor to have you in the podcast.
Thank you so much for having me and for all that you're doing for this amazing industry. You are a true, true rock star.
Thank you. So are you. You're a woman who rocked. That's my final edition. Yes, you're
Right.
my final episode of the Woman Who Rock edition that we started in March. So thank you for being that. So that's how I'm going to leave that edition with a bang until next year.
Awesome. Thank you so much.